Welcome to this custom-tailored deep dive, designed specifically for you.
Yeah, we're really thrilled you're joining us today.
Because today's deep dive is an exploration of the surprisingly complex world of Sexiest Man Alive by Diana Holquist.
Which I know, based on that title alone...
It sounds like a straightforward romance.
Exactly. You hear that and you think, okay, I know what this is.
But this isn't just a romance story. It's actually a really fascinating case study on social anxiety and, the armor we wear to protect ourselves.
Right. And what happens when the world's shyest woman essentially collides with the most famous man on the planet?
To set the scene for you, let me introduce our protagonist. Her name is Jasmine Burns. She's 28, an NYU costume design grad, and she's living in an absolute shoebox-sized Upper West Side apartment.
Classic New York setup.
Yeah, but her situation is a bit more extreme. Because when I say she has social anxiety around attractive men, I am not talking about simple butterflies here.
No, it's paralyzing for her.
Right. She's literally making her living by running a women-only tailoring business out of her apartment, just to completely avoid interacting with men.
Engineering her entire life around the anxiety.
Exactly. And the way we first meet her is just wonderfully tragic. She's practicing for a job interview with her future boss, this handsome Italian costume designer named Arturo.
And how she practices is, well, it's unique.
It really is. She's sitting on her white flea market couch, wearing a black lace teddy, next to a naked Ken doll.
A naked Ken doll.
Yeah, just rigidly following instructions from a self-help workbook called Goodbye Shy.
Which sounds completely absurd on the surface, but it actually highlights why this matters to you, the listener. Because we all have moments of imposter syndrome, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Or that sudden rush of social panic before a major presentation. But for Jasmine, that panic is entirely paralyzing. It's a severe physical reaction.
A full-on system failure.
Exactly. We see the mechanics of this play out when she actually attempts to go to the interview at the Royalton Hotel.
In that famously chic lobby bar.
Right. She sees Arturo sitting there looking gorgeous in an Italian suit, and we are basically watching an amygdala hijack in real time.
Her brain perceives Arturo as a literal threat to her survival.
Yes. Her system short circuits, her lungs constrict, she drops her massive portfolio all over the floor, and she cannot form a single word.
She just turns, runs away, and throws up in a potted lime tree in the hotel lobby.
It is a catastrophic, full-body panic response.
Okay, let's unpack this. Because the catalyst for the entire story happens right after this disastrous non-interview. Jasmine is back in her apartment in the middle of the night, convinced her theater career is totally over.
And then her sister shows up.
Right, her estranged sister Amy bursts through the door. Amy is this self-proclaimed psychic, smelling heavily of cinnamon and cloves, dressed like a dramatic gypsy.
And she needs money.
Desperately. She needs $2,000 to be exact.
Right.
So in exchange for Jasmine handing over literally her entire life savings, Amy reveals the name of Jasmine's one true love as destined by fate.
Which is quite the promise.
Yeah. And the name she gives her is Josh Toby.
Which introduces a massive hurdle for a woman who is physiologically terrified of attractive men.
Because Josh Toby is People magazine's reigning sexiest man alive.
The biggest movie star of the decade.
Right. His face is on billboards everywhere. He's currently dating a woman named Cleo Chan, who is essentially the sexiest woman alive.
So Jasmine, who can't even speak to a piece of plastic without hyperventilating,
is supposed to be destined for the ultimate Hollywood heartthrob.
What's fascinating here is how Amy, the sister, immediately processes this. She realizes that a movie star might literally push her sister over the edge.
It would be too much.
Way too much. So rather than force the issue, Amy goes out and tracks down a second Josh Toby, a completely different guy with the exact same name.
And this guy is the complete opposite.
Totally. He's a pale, carrot-top reference librarian at the New York Public Library.
Wearing sweater vests.
Pocket protector and all. He blushes furiously whenever anyone even looks at him.
So Jasmine actually tracks this librarian down to see if the prophecy fits. She goes to the library, sits across from him, and experiences something entirely new. She feels calm.
Her throat doesn't close up.
Her heart rate stays steady. She feels so free from her usual fight or flight response that she gets way too comfortable. She actually ruins it by over-explaining the entire psychic connection to him.
Which makes sense because that sudden absence of cortisol is disorienting. She isn't used to feeling peaceful around a man, so she self-sabotages by oversharing.
And the librarian, Josh, gives her this stern, professional shush. He thinks she's totally delusional.
He lumps her in with the regulars.
Yeah, he points her toward a soup kitchen. He groups her in with Eleanor the bag lady and Tony, who literally thinks he's Jesus. It's incredibly humbling for Jasmine.
I really want you to reflect on that specific moment. Think about how often we try to force a safe option in our own lives because we're terrified of our actual potential.
Or our real desires.
Exactly. Jasmine wants a grand life. She wants to be a top costume designer. But her fear is so immense that she tries to convince herself she belongs with a man who pities her purely because it doesn't trigger her panic.
We shrink our own horizons to avoid the discomfort of the spotlight.
We really do.
But the narrative won't let her hide. We pivot back to the real Josh Toby, the movie star. And it turns out he is secretly in New York.
Hiding in plain sight.
Right. He's there to play Romeo in this tiny off-Broadway production. No special effects, no Hollywood glamour. He's desperate to prove to his judgmental parents that he's more than just a male bimbo with six-pack abs.
He wants to be seen for his mind.
And his attempts at being a normal intellectual are hilarious. He's sitting in a greasy diner in sunglasses reading Derrida's deconstructionist philosophy on Shakespeare.
As one does in a diner.
Naturally. And while he's there, he overhears a waitress talking about her aunt needing a $50,000 operation.
So he just pays for it.
Yeah, he pays his $8 bill with his Amex and leaves a $50,008.25 tip, which immediately blows his cover in the tabloids.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, this is where the brilliant thematic parallel between Jasmine and Josh emerges.
They seem so different on the surface.
They do, but fundamentally, both of them are trapped by their bodies. Jasmine's body betrays her with blushing and panic attacks, hiding her talent.
And Josh's body stops people cold.
Right. His physical perfection is so overwhelming it prevents anyone from seeing his intellect, or the fact that he's reading Derrida. They both just want to be recognized for who they are on the inside.
And because of that shared experience, Josh intuitively understands Jasmine's anxiety. Fast forward a bit through a twist of fate, Jasmine ends up hired as Josh's personal costume designer for the play.
Because Arturo thought her dropping the portfolio was an avant-garde artistic statement.
Exactly. So when they finally have to meet one-on-one in her apartment, Josh brings her a gift. It's a box containing $8,000 diamond earrings.
Which sounds like a classic celebrity move, but the motivation is so insightful.
He tells her that his fake girlfriend, Cleo Chan, taught him a trick. Diamonds draw people's eyes away from the wearer's face.
He noticed how terrified Jasmine is of direct eye contact.
Yeah. So he didn't buy them to buy her affection. He bought them to give her a momentary shield. When people look at her, the light catching the diamonds distracts them, giving her a few seconds to catch her breath.
It's a profound act of empathy. He's using the tools of extreme fame to construct a piece of psychological armor, specifically for her anxiety.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting, though. Because emotional armor is one thing, but physical armor is another entirely.
The Halloween parade.
Yes, the Greenwich Village Halloween parade. The sensory overload is massive, but Jasmine comes up with a brilliant disguise swap.
This is my favorite part.
She dresses up as Mitch Tank, which is Josh's hyper-macho action character. She's got a plastic Uzi, combat boots, camo paint.
A total visual inversion of her usual timid self.
And Josh dresses as Cleo Chan. Jasmine puts him in a red sequined gown, a push-up bra, heavy makeup, and heels. And they go out into the swarming crowds.
This is where we see the psychological power of masks. Because Jasmine is entirely concealed beneath the macho costume, she suddenly feels brave.
The physical disguise bypasses her chemical anxiety.
Exactly. When a paparazzi photographer jumps out and yells at them to kiss, Josh dips Jasmine and kisses her passionately.
And instead of running away, she kisses him back. She completely forgets her anxiety.
Because in that moment, she isn't Jasmine Burns. She's insulated inside a role.
And that bravado continues. They juck into a deli afterwards, still in full drag, and Josh decides to give her lessons in being normal.
The sandwich scene.
Right, he orders this massive pastrami sandwich. Jasmine orders a safe, plain grilled cheese that won't draw attention.
And he pushes his plate toward her.
He challenges her to assertively ask for a bite of the pastrami. He forces her to practice owning her desires, using that Mitch Tank persona to find her voice.
It reframes confidence. It's not an inherent personality trait anymore. It's a muscle you actively flex.
But he also shares a vulnerability of his own in that booth. While he's taking off his fake eyelashes, he confesses that his relationship with Cleo Chan is entirely fake.
Orchestrated by their publicist, Mo.
Yeah, they haven't been romantically involved in 2 years.
Which reveals so much about his life behind the scenes. It's a defensive mechanism.
To protect them from gold diggers so they can work 18-hour days.
Exactly. Cleo Chan is his armor, just as much as Mitch Tank is Jasmine's armor.
Which brings us to the ultimate test of costumes and bravery, the climax. Arturo, the boss, abruptly flees to Rome.
Because of the psychic sister.
Right, Amy told him his true love was in Rome, so he just hops on a plane. This leaves Jasmine totally alone to run a massive production meeting.
For 64 gorgeous, intimidating theater techs.
That's a nightmare scenario. The terrifying director, Alan McMahon, is there. Even her smug rival, Samantha, is in the front row.
The power dynamics are just awful for someone with her condition.
She's backed against the wall. Someone hands her purple pills. Her internal breakdown is vividly physical. Her nose actually starts twitching like a rabbit's.
Her anxiety has completely hijacked her system again. No costume to hide behind this time.
But then Josh crashes the meeting, completely disguised as a bumbling, pathetic nerd.
The hemmed pants.
Yes, wearing pants. Jasmine hemmed for her shortest client. Taped glasses, toilet paper on a fake shaving cut. He violently crashes into chairs, fumbles his words, drops her sketchbook.
He draws the absolute pity of the entire room.
And we have to analyze why this works. Because he doesn't step in to do the job for her.
No, if he does the presentation, she loses her chance to prove herself. Instead, he uses his acting skills to shift the room's energy.
He plays the fool so she can be the star.
By making himself the object of pity, he drains the judgmental scrutiny directed at Jasmine. He buys her the precious seconds she needs to recover.
And it works. After he bumbles out, Jasmine takes a breath. She looks out at the terrifying Mr. McMahon and spots his socks.
The checked socks?
Yes. Absurd pink, yellow, green, and blue checked socks sticking out from under his expensive suit.
A tiny crack in his armor.
Realizing he's just a human being washes the fear away. She delivers a triumphant pitch starting the play in modern suburban costumes that slowly morph into timeless historical pieces.
A journey to the universal.
And Mr. McMahon absolutely loves it. She secures her position on her own merit.
Because of that borrowed time.
Exactly. So what does this all mean? If we look at both characters, Jasmine and Josh provided what the other lacked.
Jasmine gave Josh a chance to be seen as a normal, smart person.
She looked past the spotlight. And Josh gave Jasmine the gentle nudges and the literal disguises she needed to step into her own power.
This raises an important question. We often think of confidence as suddenly becoming fearless. We wait for the anxiety to just disappear.
But it doesn't always work that way.
Right. Sometimes confidence is about finding the right partner or the right metaphorical pair of diamond earrings to help you navigate the panic.
Finding workarounds for your own brain chemistry.
I want to leave you with a final provocative thought today. We've talked a lot about the masks we wear to hide, but think about the flip side. The modern obsession with authenticity.
That's a great point.
In an era where we are constantly pressured to share our unfiltered selves, are we losing the psychological safety that a professional mask provides?
Are we demanding too much vulnerability?
Exactly. Are you forcing yourself to be vulnerable when what you really need is to put on a costume, borrow some bravery, and protect your peace?
What a fantastic note to end on. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. We hope you feel a little braver, a little more understood, and ready to tackle whatever production meeting life throws your way. Catch you next time.